Good evening. Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening as we're now here on Monday, and we're at the 16th of June, 2025, just about 6:20 p.m. Central Time. Now remember, this is a shortened week because Thursday's trade is Juneteenth, so you're going to have those abbreviated hours. If you're a subscriber or a client of mine, I've sent out emails to everybody I had an email address for, so they've got the hours already for that. Let's take a look at tomorrow's action. You're going to get the import-export data coming out, and that's at 7:30 in the morning. You're going to get advanced retail sales coming out at 7:30, and at 7:55, the Red Book Group with their weekly retail sales. So a lot of sales data is going to hit this market tomorrow. We get the Federal Reserve with their monthly industrial production and capacity utilization data. That comes out at 8:15. The National Association of Home Builders at 9. U.S. April business inventory data comes out at 9. So now we're going to see if we're getting any tariff impact on that, what's going on in the inventories. The API will release their weekly member stockpile data at 3:30 in the afternoon. As for Iran and the G7, well, everybody's running up, as you can imagine, and making appointments with President Trump to see what the heads of states can do to stop the president or make a deal with the president concerning tariffs. Number one, nobody's going to stop the tariffs. Let me make that clear. The president is counting on the money from the tariffs to pay for whatever's left of his tax bill, because that tax bill is let me put it this way, fighting a big uphill battle in the Senate where they don't want to increase the SALT deductions to the $40,000 number. They're going to probably keep it at 10. It'll go back and bounce around the House and the Senate in reconciliation to find the number. I predict it will not stay at 10, but I also don't think it's going to be at 40. So there's going to be something in between there in some way that they come up with it. As for the Iran deal, while Iran now wants to look for a ramp to end this, that ramp has disappeared. There is a ramp, not the ramp they want. The word flexible that they use today, what does that mean? They're not going to be able to keep uranium enrichment, period. All right? Nobody trusts them to stay at the low-grade uranium. It's really that simple. And what they'll do is they'll get their cabinet to come out of the nuclear treaties that are in place, and then the threat is that they can develop a nuclear weapon. Well, they could anyways. I mean, who's stopping them? Because they've not told you the truth over what they're developing, where they do it, sites that nobody knew around. So their threats fall on to normal people, I think's ears that it's not working. The president today told citizens of Tehran to move. Get out of there, because it's only going to get worse, because the U.S. is not going to stop this going on. I think that the thinking here in America is let them fight more and hurt themselves. The Nimitz, our carrier group, that'll be the second one in the region, is on its way now into the Mideast. So we're going to have a tremendous amount of firepower there. I think that this is all about the Strait of Hormuz. In case they have to keep it open in some manner, how do they go about doing it? That's just a guess on my part. I'm not a military man, but that would be the choke point for the world that no one wants to see happen. And this can end, and I want everybody to understand, it can end. You just can't allow Iran any longer to develop uranium. They can get it from Russia. They can get the enriched uranium they need for whatever their purposes are, and it's a simple off-ramp. The fact that they want it, that's going to keep Israel going, and this president of ours doesn't seem to want to stop that. That's where you're at. As for the G7, well, it's meeting upon meeting. Japan's minister is there trying to work out a deal because of their autos, the tariffs that are going to hit them. We've already seen that Starmer is in the final part, and it appears there'll be absolutely no tariff on their steel coming to the U.S. as part of the deal, but they're going to be buying a lot more of U.S. beef. They're going to be getting a lot more energy from the United States as well. That's all welcome. Deals can be made. The question is, how do you go about doing it? And it's not just the G7 that's there. You've got many countries now showing up that are not G7 meetings, including the Ukrainians. And I'm sure Zelensky will not get along with President Trump, because all you keep hearing Trump say is Russia shouldn't have been thrown out of the then G8, making it the G7, things of that nature. It's bound to not create a good meeting if the two meet together. So we will see how that all goes. All right. I want to remind you that my Father's Day sale ends Chicago time, that's Central Time, today, Monday, at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So you've got just hours if you want to take advantage of it. Remember, what the sale is you get 1/3 off any of my research. For the minimum is 90 days. That'd be $34 for 90 days. That's your total cost for 90 days of my research. It then goes back to the normal price. You'd save 1/3 of this by doing it. I think you'll find it to be, in this market, quite interesting. Take advantage of it. You'll see icons up here all the way through. All right. So let's go together now and look at the markets. As you can see, the energies are up now. They were down today. They're back up. The thing you have to be concerned about in all these markets, I think, is the fact that they're going to become complacent. Traders go, we're used to the tariff talk. It's already in the market. Now the Iranian war with Israel, they're going to become complacent. The longer it goes on, it's just human nature. It's not our war. It's happening over there, and the markets will just trade it back and forth. As for the stock market, we'll see if again the market gets bids on the way down, because that's what's happening. As for the dollar, I continue to look for a weakening dollar, strength in most currencies against it, but not just one move to the up, back and forth type movement. When we take a look together at the gold market, gold is backing off. It is now on the first day of the week, down 1%. Okay, that's interesting as to what it's doing. It is slipping back. You can see how the market came back from here. I was reading a study today, I think it was by Citibank, where they now think the gold market is going, and I think it's Citi, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was, where they think the market's caught between basically this high down to the 3,100 level. I can see what they're saying. And you can, and I just want to point it out, that they think you'll trade around in there. Inflation's not going away. Eventually the tariff will show up. The threat of Iran, Israel, until that gets resolved, which could be a very long time. We are not talking this thing's going to end in 24 hours. If you had ideas about that, that is not how this is going to play out. And what does it do for the market? When you take that all away from the market, you get a couple of more deals done with tariffs, so they come out, they're not so bad. That would be pressure on the gold. So you've got the bullish pressure now. You could see that pressure sell off, and that's what I think they're talking about. I can't speak for them, but that's my guess. As you can see, you got a higher high, lower low pattern on the swing line. You've stayed over the 18-day average of closes, which for all purposes, 33.69.80, just hanging right in there at this point. And the market keeps going and getting thrown back at the upper Bollinger Band, which I teach you over and over here. Now, the narrower this band gets, the bigger the eventual move that comes out of this. And that's what we all have to pay attention to. So it's got to start narrowing in more than this, and that's what I think it's trying to do. When you look at momentum, you're overbought. So in summation, you have a pattern here of a lower low, a higher high. The market probably destined to fight a battle at the 18-day average of closes, void of a trend at the moment. Bias up and overbought. When I look at the gold-silver ratio, you can see how it slipped back down a little bit today, and tonight it's just sort of holding steady. Silver is down nearly 5 cents at this point. You still have the pattern of higher lows, higher highs, and what's going for the silver, the positive element in it, is you have an embedded reading. So until the red line, which is 85.21, closes under 79, I say that the pros are buying the market, looking for the market to get over these highs and go to the upside. We'll see. What would affect the market in a positive manner? Well, Anything good about the economy probably does that, especially if you can avoid the talk that economies are going to slow down and things are going to get worse and worse. Ideas that maybe interest rates are going to fall. Remember, the Fed begins its two-day meeting tomorrow, and on Wednesday we get all the Fed news and the important dot plot. In the copper market, lower highs, lower lows, right into the support of the 18-day average. So the bias is up. I define bias as to where price is in relation to the 18-day average of closes. That number's 481. You're at 481.10. I know you'll say it's just 10 points. Doesn't matter. It's over that number. If it gets under it, the bias is down. But the support, if it's going to work out, has good support here at the green line, which is the 100-day average, and the 18. The market's been in a corrective mode. In the platinum market, are you going to lose the embedded reading? So if we step back just a little bit here, come on, there we go. You can see you finished with an 80.28 reading. You're losing that reading tonight. If it stays lost, then you've lost the bullish embedded momentum. If that happens, then I'll be looking for price in the 18-day average to make a run at each other, assuming that is lost by the close. Intraday, can't tell you what that means. When we look at the dollar, the trend is down. The market's made new lows, as you already know here. It keeps hitting the Bollinger Band and riding it. Now, if it can ride it like that, and if you get these numbers to embed, where they both start closing under 20 for several days in a row. You can't count today because we don't know where the settlement's going to be, but we can certainly count Friday, all right? So on Friday, they were not there. We know today, which is Monday, because remember, this market hasn't opened yet. Both numbers were under 17. I think I said that wrong. Got it 3 days in a row. You have one of three. So you just wait. I forgot that the market wasn't open myself. So you put that all together, and that's pretty much the game plan that I think you work with. So again, you've got a few hours to take advantage of the sale. It will shut off Chicago time, Central Time, at 11:59 p.m. Central Time and 59 seconds. Right after midnight, it will be shut off. So I hope you take advantage of that. I hope you had a great Father's Day. I'll catch up with one and all in my other videos tonight. And of course, I'll see you first thing in the morning when we will discuss what the day's events are and how things went at G7, what's going on in Iran. And we have a ton of data in the morning. Take care.